Hey, I am doing a book review for Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. Uh, I just finished this, like, quite literally a minute before I turned on the camera for this video, and I'm gonna be honest, I did cry. Uh, I did not expect to be as moved emotionally as I was by this book. And I had read a couple of reviews, and I don't want to say that they're spoilery necessarily, but I did get an indication that Nicola Yoon was going to have a bittersweet ending once again with this. Kind of like how it was with The Sun Is Also a Star, which also happens to be one of my favorite young adult books, period, out in the market right now. Uh, yeah, I will say that there might be some mild spoilers in this, but I'm not going to give everything away. This book definitely is a journey, and I think it's better to not be completely spoiled and just to read it and take it in. So, Instructions for Dancing stars Evie or Yvette and X or Xavier. They happen to have a chance meeting at a dance studio. Evie has been going through some shifts in her life. Her parents are recently divorced, and her father is now in a relationship with another woman. And it turns out, and this is where some of the spoilers are coming in, that he cheated on her mother, and she happened to discover him in the midst of him cheating on her mom with the other woman, Shirley. And because of that, she's just kind of been wrestling with what her belief of love truly is. And of course, just going through something as heartbreaking as divorce in the family and having to reconcile that as the older sibling. She has a younger sibling as well. So, in any case, she was once an avid romance novel reader, and she decides to donate a bunch of her books to the library. But it turns out the library's closed, so she ends up going to this little corner store bookstore where she meets this mysterious older woman. And when she donates her books in trade, the older woman kind of points her in the direction of this book called Instructions for Dancing. And in the back of the book, there's an address to a dance studio. So at first, Evie doesn't really think much of it, but then some strange occurrences start happening to Evie. She starts actually envisioning relationships of strangers. So she'll see a strange couple on the street, they'll kiss, and then she'll have an unlocked vision to basically their entire love story from when they first meet to the inevitable end, whether it's happy or not. So she basically gets visions of everyone's love story when she sees them kiss. And it generally has to be a love story. It only works with basically true love. So she doesn't know how she has gotten this ability, but she suspects it might have something to do with this chance encounter with this elderly woman at this bookstore, and that the Instructions for Dancing book probably is a huge clue into solving this mysterious power that she has. So, from the advice of one of her friends, Martin, she decides to go to this dance studio that's enclosed at the back of this book, Instructions for Dancing, and she ends up meeting X and Xavier. And they slowly kind of come together for a friendship, and then they are asked to take part in a dance competition to kind of help save the dance studio because it doesn't have enough clientele. And through that partnership and them getting to know each other, an incredible love story begins to blossom. There's definitely so much that I love about this book, but I also kind of hate that Nicola Yoon basically ripped my heart right out of my chest. And her author's note, in particular, in the back of the book, is really enlightening. And the way she was able to encapsulate essentially the joy of truly falling in love and having people that you love and adore in your life, and still having to deal with loss, whether the relationship breaks down or other life circumstances come in the way and those relationships have to end. It's a really beautiful author's note. But as for instructions for dancing in itself, I am kind of mad at her, but it is such a well crafted story, and throughout the book you're given clues as to what's going on. And I will say that maybe through the second act I could start to see what was being set in motion, and I genuinely didn't want to believe it until it was confirmed in the final act. And it just it's so emotionally resonant, but it did really make me sad. It genuinely is a bittersweet ending, but yet hopeful at the same time. And it kind of answers that age old question whether it was worth to love at all, if in the end you know that it will not end in the way that you want it to, and that not all love stories have a particularly happy ending. Sometimes they offer you a teachable moment and you take that with you and you go on. And I just found in particular Evie's relationship with her father, and just through the emotional journey that they have to go to and how it's resolved in the end, really shattered me, especially considering that I'm filming this on Father's Day, and I have a lot of emotions kind of built into that I won't reveal in this. But I did not expect to cry. I should have known better because I've cried before with Nicola Yoon's words, but it really was devastatingly sweet, and I really think this book is worth giving it a shot. I think it's just really wonderfully done, and it's not particularly long either. I think it just clocks in under 300 pages. I'm just checking now. So it's about, yeah, it's 280 pages, 281 pages. So it's a shorter young adult read, but it's just crafted really well, and I think it's worth your time.